Hey blockheads, this is DJ AK from NK Airplay Radio, and if you love what the My So-Called Whatever podcast crew is doing, check us out too. NK Airplay is an online radio station playing all your favorite hits from the 80s and 90s, especially the ones from those boys in the band, New Kids on the Block. Listen to artists like Boyz II Men, Debbie Gibson, Tiffany, boy bands, girl bands, and many more. We play artists that are associated with or who inspired the New Kids on the Block, plus some of the artists that inspired us while we were growing up. Check us out on social media at NK Airplay Radio. And download the Live 365 app for your iPhone or Android phone and listen today.
Friends forever, that's what we are. Through the thick and the thin, we're friendship stars. We're banger main buddies from the days of old. We laugh, cry, and hug, friendship solid gold. My so-called whatever started a year ago. We share our stories and your stories were told. 80s, 90s memories that give us glee. And on the block party shows, NKOTB. Now our friendship circle has grown by far. Hashtag friends forever, that's what we all are. Boom. And if you don't know, now you know. My so-called whatever for life. Hashtag MSCW. Hashtag friends forever. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
Hi. How's it going?
Good. Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
Hey.
We have a special guest.
We're so glad to have you here.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be here.
We're recording on a Thursday. This has become to be the norm, like the Thursday night recording.
Yeah.
I like
During this quarantine, it works out well.
Yeah, because we have our Zooms on Friday.
Right.
And we have recording Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday or Thursday we record.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I hear a massive, we may have to pause. I hear like a huge fire truck coming.
Oh, that's okay.
I hear it.
Okay.
We'll add this. We'll add this in.
It's probably like 10 blocks away, so it's not even at its full capacity.
It's
yet.
Coming. So you guys will hear this. You'll hear New York City. It's ambiance.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it may have made a turn because it stopped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So tonight we have Jackie on. We're very excited. We love having special guests on, and you guys seem to love it too. So we're gonna keep doing it. Quarantine special guests.
Quarantine special guest.
Do we want to intro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it to it.
Okay, let's do it.
This is Brooke.
And this is Nikki.
And this is Jackie with fire trucks in the background in NYC.
And this is my so-called whatever.
Yay!
And it's not a block party. It's an 80s, 90s episode, you guys.
Welcome to the 80s, 90s episode.
Woohoo!
Here comes the fire truck.
No, and listen, this is one that has been a long time coming.
Yes.
Yes. I'm very excited.
Like, I am so excited. I have had in my mind, I don't even know that we've really talked about it, or if I've...
Jackie's like holding her head.
There it is.
I thought it turned, but I guess not. Oh god, I just myself. Okay.
So I have had like a little list in my head of episodes and things that I would love to do that I know are very uniquely me.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like not unique to me, like other people like this stuff too. But like in the Brooke and Nikki realm, it was much more of a Brooke thing.
Right.
And I have kind of a few of those. But this was one.
It's good.
Well, yes, because they'll all get a turn.
Right. And I'm sure there'll be something very... Well, Swan's Crossing with Shane McDermott. That was very uniquely me.
It really was.
So, we go back and forth.
Yeah. So this episode, we did a rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for Nikki, it was the first watch.
For Nikki, it was first time.
I can't believe it. I still can't believe it.
But we rewatched, and are breaking down the movie Singles.
Singles.
And
Yeah.
Jackie loves this movie.
One of my favorites.
And it is my ultimate favorite. So we had to have her on.
Wait, this is your number one favorite movie, Brooke?
Yes.
Wow.
This is and has been my number one favorite movie since I saw it.
Wow.
Like, it's never wavered.
Well, we would have done this a lot earlier if I would have known this was your number one favorite movie.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay.
It's also my number one favorite soundtrack.
Okay.
That goes without saying.
It's a damn good soundtrack.
Except Dyslexic Heart, right?
What?
I love that song.
I don't like that song.
Really?
Oh my god!
I don't know
That's one of my
why.
favorites.
I don't know why.
I love it.
I don't know why I don't like it. But I heard
I
it come
love
on
it.
the end credits and I was like, oh no.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
So I remember thinking I was a child, like 12, 13 years old, watching this. But I remember thinking, like, wow, like, he's a really good songwriter.
Me too.
Like,
Me too.
like
Because
these
I love
lyrics
waiting
are
for
amazing.
somebody as well. I love waiting for somebody.
I've been singing that all day.
Maybe I have to listen to the lyrics.
Maybe.
Yeah, because the lyrics are clever too.
Yeah, maybe I need to listen to the lyrics. Maybe
Okay.
I don't know why. For me, it came on. I was like, oh no. So
And like, honestly, it's a huge chunk of nostalgia as well.
Yes.
Which always puts a different kind of view on things.
mhm.
But that soundtrack I could listen to, and I could listen to now, front to back, all the way through, backwards, forwards, over and over again on repeat, and not skip a song.
Yes. Yeah, it was definitely a soundtrack that was playing over and over and over again. It's good,
So,
good stuff. And it was that, Seattle sound. Right.
I think I put somewhere in my notes here on this, but I'll just say it now. I so badly wanted to be a person in their 20s living in Seattle in 1992.
Me too.
That is what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted to be. Let's just put it out there. I wanted to be Bridget Fonda.
Oh, that's the character I identify with the most. Oh, we're gonna have a good discussion today.
Yes, I wanted to be Janet.
Oh no. Oh no. I probably need to keep my comments to myself.
No, and I totally had a Cliff in my life at the time, especially. He didn't look as good as Matt Dillon, but
Oh man.
yeah.
I also didn't realize that Matt Dillon was Cliff. I was like, who's Cliff? So she's got this guy. I thought his name was Dick, but I think that was the name of the band.
The song "Touch Me
Citizen
on
Dick.
Dick."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. That's great. Okay, so yes, that was my first note to myself is I wanted to go to Seattle, and I'm actually shocked that I haven't been still.
Oh wow.
We should go.
That would be a good.
I would love to go to Seattle.
I would
God.
do that.
Can we go?
Can we go to the fish market?
Pikes
Where
Market.
they throw the
Yes.
fish?
Yes.
I
I'm down for it.
I am totally I would love it. Can we go to that apartment complex?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes. That now I know I would have loved to live in something like that. Like that's
Yeah.
like a
It's like
dream.
Seattle's version of Melrose Place, basically.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Brooke,
love
did
it.
you see in that Rolling Stone article how the the landlord of that apartment complex is like always chasing people away because they go to this building?
He's like, you ruined my life.
He ruined my life.
That was a really good article. You know what? I'm going to link to that article on the website.
Yeah, because there were so many little tidbits I didn't know.
Oh, I
Yeah.
should have read it before I came on. I forgot to read it.
We will clue you in.
Okay, good, because I'm going to
Absolutely.
need some clues
Yeah.
all the way around. So this is going to be a very Jackie Brooke heavy episode. This is going to be a very Nikki chiming
but-
in here and there.
But listen, I want to know, like when you said, oh, no, I probably shouldn't read my notes. I want to know what you said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I
Like,
think this is
you
coming
should-
from the adult perspective, but I did write, I think this is coming from my adult perspective, but I think if I was 12 watching this or 14, I would have thought very differently.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
the first thing I thought when it with her whole like having her own parking space, like it didn't make sense to me back then, but now I'm like, oh my god, yes, having your own parking space,
yeah,
I would kill for that.
So that didn't really make sense to me because here's the thing, I was way too young. I was like 12 or 13 when I first saw this.
Right.
I did not see it in the theater. I saw it at home.
Okay.
I remember renting it. I remember going to Front Row Video, and I had seen it there. It was a new release, and I had seen it there. And then I feel like my mom wouldn't let me rent it. But then I went back with my dad, and he was like, he didn't care. He was like, just grab whatever.
Right.
And then I rented it multiple times.
Nice.
Like, because when you're 12,
right,
you're not like, you don't have your own money and you don't have $20 to like go buy a movie.
Right.
Right, because it was at the time. It was like 20, 25, $30.
Yeah. And then like my parents would have to take me there. But when they would let me rent one movie every weekend or two movies every weekend, I would just rent the same one. And it was that.
So I went to the theaters to see this, and I looked at the release date. It was like September. So that means I was actually in my senior year in high school.
What year was it?
92.
92.
Yeah. So that works out. So I was probably 13. Because it probably came out on video. I would have turned 13 March of 93. So it was right around then.
Yep. It makes sense. Yep.
But
yeah.
See, I was so young. Oh, and the thing with the parking space is like that would have a lot of the movie went over my head. I'll just put that out there right now. But I also that was like, I don't know, I felt like, well, everybody has a parking space because living in Bangor, Maine, everybody does have a parking space.
Right.
Whereas the city girl who didn't even have we didn't have a car until and it was mad inconvenient to have a car here in New York City.
Yeah.
Until maybe I was in college actually. So for me I didn't even get the whole parking space thing, but now watching it back as an adult, that's where I was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Not just the parking space. She had her own garage.
Right.
Which is even better.
Right. Not having to clean snow and scrape ice off your car. Oh.
It's like heaven.
Yeah.
Right.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. You could woo me that way. I'll tell you that much.
And can we talk about, first of all, I just want to say that I loved we already talked about Paul Westerberg and Waiting for Somebody, but I've been singing that song all day, just so you know.
It's so good.
It's so good. And that hip Seattle montage.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was what sold me on. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be those people.
The girl with the jean shorts and the tights.
Yes.
Yes.
I noticed that right away.
And I wrote down the first note I have after hip Seattle montage was Kira Sedgwick as Linda Powell. Hair goals.
Yes.
Oh my God.
To this day, I mean,
yes.
She has a fabulous head of hair.
I thought wow, she is stunning.
She is.
Yeah.
She's married to Kevin Bacon, right? That's his wife?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about a great looking couple.
No kidding.
They are a great looking couple.
And she still looks amazing.
Yeah. Well, they both do.
Amazing.
Yeah, they both do. So speaking of good looking, then we switch to this exchange student from Spain.
Right.
Louise.
Okay. So present day, I'd be like, you're a total creeper. I'm calling the police.
Right.
But back then, it was just so romantical to me. It was like, oh my gosh, she's like, he saw her and it was love at first sight, and he just had to be with her.
I wrote stalker. But I would have thought this was romantic.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember thinking it was romantic, and I remember also thinking that was an unrealistic storyline.
Do you think he did something to her car?
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Lord have mercy. Too many true crime podcasts.
That's what it is. That's what it was.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I just but I remember thinking like this isn't realistic because no human being could ever be that much of an ass to another human being. I was naive because I could totally see that happening. I'm sure that's happened a million times.
I believe my note when she saw him at the bar was, "This bitch from Spain was bold."
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Can we talk a second about the drawing? I'm gonna let me draw you like one of my French girls.
The drawing.
Yes. Like, what the hell? You're not Picasso, dude. Like, that's not romantic. Like,
I'm not even kidding. I thought that was so romantic and so beautiful when I was a child.
So artistic.
When I was a teenager. I thought that was absolutely like a beautiful.
But if you think about it, he probably was like, I don't know anything about art. I'm just like drawing stick figure like features here.
Right.
And she's going to think this is like
amazing.
Like, yeah, some kind of I can't remember what art technique it is, but she's going to think that it's like something magical when I'm just like putting stick figure features.
I mean, that was a smooth way for him to pass his number off to her, though.
Yes.
It really was.
It was.
He knew what he was doing.
But I was suspect. I was suspect from the get-go.
With the car thing. Oh my gosh. Yes. We need to get Cameron Crowe and ask him. Are we to understand?
Because why would he do all this? Like, why would he do all this? And all I kept writing was green card, green card, green card. Like, that's like green card alert, because who like meets a guy and is like, I want to marry him. Like, it was what, 3 days?
Right.
It was
right.
Like 3 days.
That's how much he swept her off her feet. I mean, I'll give him credit for the amount of work he put in to kind of get into her pants. Like, you don't get that these days.
Right.
You swipe and you're like, hey, well, let's hook up. It's like, so.
Yeah, exactly. He did put in a lot of work and effort.
Right.
But like, I genuinely did not think that could ever happen in real life.
No.
But I now know that it could, and it does.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even worse so, like, somebody could slip something in your drink or something.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't know. Yep. It just was so weird to me, and I just it really bothered me, because I'm like, what was his motive? Like, if it was a one night thing, okay, I get it. But like, what was his game plan? Like, what was his end game? And
I think to be a psychopath.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just to love him and leave him.
So I'm gonna put it out there. I think he did something to her car.
Okay.
The part when they go out dancing and she's like, "We will always go out dancing." Yeah. That's where I was like, this is where I so wanted to be in my 20s in 1992 Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wanted to go to that club. I wanted to do what those girls were doing, because they looked like they were having a good time.
Not like go to Barnaby's.
Right.
So,
that was our dance club.
Oh, okay. At that time, I mean, like, okay, so I'm a little bit older. There were like teen clubs in New York City that you could go to. So that was very vivid to me, of stuff that I had been doing. And specifically going to like heavy metal shows or hard rock shows.
Oh, fun.
And just like, dancing around with my friends with our fake IDs and whatever the case is. So that was very like reminiscent of something that I had been doing, and that automatically just touched me, like going out with your friends and just rocking out to the music and just being with each other, not going to pick up guys. You're just there to have girl time.
Yeah. So that's cool. You had clubs like that, Jackie. We didn't have anything like that here.
No, we had the Limelight.
Oh, that's funny. We have a Limelight too.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's a historical club.
Yeah, ours is probably named after yours, but ours was like gross.
church? Is yours an old church?
No.
No.
Oh.
No.
It was an old because it was on the corner where Epic Sports is, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had that, and we had the Bounty, or the Mount Me, as people would call it.
The Bounty was in a hotel. Was a hotel bar.
Right.
Okay. Was it pirate themed or?
Yeah.
Yes,
kind
it
of.
was. Yes, and it was like teenage club, but what was weird was they would allow like old men in there.
Yeah, they had chem free nights.
Yeah.
But like there was no like maximum age. It was just like the minimum age dropped.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
So
Oh.
it was Creep City.
It was,
Yeah.
but
We
It
still
was
had
so
fun.
fun.
We still had fun. I danced on that speaker once.
yeah, I did not dance on a speaker, but many did, and lived to
Yeah.
tell. So then we meet Steve.
And we meet Steve. Is it that same night where she sees the guy from Spain? No, it's a different night.
Right. Well, we meet Steve in his apartment.
Oh, right.
And he's talking about like his dad.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God, the sex education scene.
Yeah.
Yes. Spam.
And ew. Okay. So first of all, I don't know if you noticed this.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed this just because, but the t-shirt he's wearing in this scene when we first meet him plays a role later on down
Is
the
it
road.
the blue t-shirt?
He's wearing the blue t-shirt.
No way.
Oh, I didn't
So-
know that.
Then he pulls out that postcard.
Right. I think is it Kiss at the Hotel de Ville?
It is.
Why do I know that? Because I was obsessed with it. And
I was too.
Yeah. To
I
college.
had that postcard.
I think I had a poster up in my room.
I had the
college.
postcard and it was on my bulletin board and I had it for years. Like I took it
You
to
guys
college
were
with me.
hardcore.
Yeah.
I loved that. And I loved it because of this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Aw.
That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Jackie gets it. I love it. I love it.
It's so funny too because you said it and I automatically recited the name of it, but I don't think they say it in the movie, do they?
They do, yeah.
Oh, they do.
Because
Okay.
she says, she has a line when she sees it and she says, "Oh, Kiss at the Hotel de Ville. You have this? I have this."
Okay. Right.
So we meet Steve. He talks about spam. Little Steve is played. I knew that kid.
Oh, who is it?
Okay, Chris Masterson.
That sounds
Well, I know
familiar.
that name.
His brother is Danny Masterson. That was on like that '70s show.
Oh.
I don't know what Chris Masterson was in, but he may have been on Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh.
Oh.
He's been in things anyway.
As the older brother in Malcolm in the Middle?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure, and I meant to look it up. I'm going to look it up right now because this is going to drive me bonkers.
Sure thing.
But when I was watching it, I was like, he looks familiar. Like he became somebody. Yeah, he was the eldest brother Francis on Malcolm in the Middle.
I love this character.
I have to go look at it again. I mean, are we going to talk about all the cameos now, or we want to get to it later?
I have I've kind of filled them in.
Okay.
Through a timeline of the movie.
Okay, we'll do that.
So, well, I may have missed some.
Well, no, we haven't gotten to any yet. I don't think
we haven't. No, I think this was the first thing.
Yeah.
And we meet Cliff somewhere around here for the first time.
Yes.
And
I do have to say one thing about the sex education scene.
Oh, yeah.
Is that I thought it was freaking hilarious because it reminded me of my own, like, sex education. My parents were not about that. Like, you know, when I got my menstrual cycle, my mom gave me a book. It literally said period, dot. Like, period. But I have a vivid memory of me in 8th grade and our priest, Father John, came in. He split the girls and the boys up. and he basically was giving us sex education.
Oh no.
So
Oh boy.
it is not fun to learn that from a male priest. I was just like, oh God, I feel you, Steve. I feel you. This is so awkward.
That is awkward.
Yeah.
Awkward. Yeah.
How did we learn ours?
So they split us up. It was in 6th grade. And they split us up, boys and girls. And the health teacher came in and talked to us, didn't they?
I don't remember being split up.
Maybe we weren't split up.
I do remember health class. And the reason why I think that we were not split up is because I seem to recall a boy, I don't remember who, in my 6th grade class saying something inappropriate.
Oh. And that
He
was
was
like a
like-
big no-no.
He was like a troublemaker
Oh.
and saying something very inappropriate.
But the real nitty-gritty stuff came in 9th grade.
Yes, it did.
The
You're right.
nitty-gritty, like the real down and dirty. Like, we're going to tell you everything, the ins, the outs. After I left that health class, I was like, I'm never having sex. But if I do, I'm wearing 2 condoms. Well, I'm
Interesting.
not wearing.
Well, you're not wearing them.
I guess it was a little taboo, right? Because I went to like parochial school, like Catholic school, all the way through college.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
hence why we got our education from a male priest.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
just
gosh.
wrong.
That is really strange. Like, that
I mean,
would feel strange.
It should come from the parents, but I get it being awkward for parents, right? Thank you for this third party called to school or health educator. I don't know if I got a real down and dirty nitty gritty besides like from my friends. And
We've like introduced a little bit more every year with Brendan Brody. Like,
Mhm.
Brody wanted to learn from the get-go. He was like,
Okay.
where do babies come from? I need to know where babies come from. Like, I'm talking like 5 years old. And we're like,
Oh.
and Bryn wasn't ready. Bryn had a feeling she wasn't going to like the news. So she was like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And so finally it came to the point where we were like, honey, Brody's just going to tell you anyway if we tell him. So we
Right.
sat them down and we had like the basic talk. And Brody was like right on the edge of his seat, and Bryn's like, I don't want to know any more of this. I don't want to know. And every year when we like introduce a little bit more, now they pretty much know
Right.
the ins and outs,
Right.
you know?
Right.
But
So-
like every year Bryn was like, no, there's more. No.
Oh my gosh.
I definitely had a spam type version for me where I had a friend who was trying to convince me that babies came from belly buttons.
Oh.
And I was confused for a good 2 days. Like, are you sure? That seems like a lot to come out of this. You know, I'd be like in the mirror looking at my belly button, like, how could a baby come from there?
Yeah.
Like, so perplexed.
Oh my
So
goodness.
perplexed. And then finally, it's like, she don't know what she's talking about. I think it comes from other places. You know, like.
Yeah. But then if they would have told you where it really came from, wouldn't you be like, no, that's too small?
I would have been freaked out because I think this conversation was happening like around 4th or 5th grade,
Yeah.
where we really, you know, you
Yeah.
hear things, but you just don't know. Some people have little brothers and sisters, some
Yeah.
don't. So yeah, I was really perplexed.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So then we meet Bridget Fonda, or Janet,
Hmm.
Yes.
and this is where I love Bridget Fonda as an actress. Janet was a cool ass character.
Mm-hmm.
I loved her hair and I loved her style.
Can I say what I wrote about Janet?
Please.
Okay.
Janet's kind of dumb. That's what I wrote.
Oh,
Just in the beginning of the movie, I'm just like, you're so beautiful. Like, what's wrong with you? Like,
Yeah, she's an optimist though. And she stays an optimist throughout the whole movie.
She really does. She really does. And yeah, I'll get to one part where she was an optimist, but I was just like, Matt Dillon is such a tool. Like, he is
Yeah.
such a tool. Didn't realize his name was Cliff. So when she was like talking about how she was like really into Cliff, I'm like, oh, so she's like playing. Maybe she is smarter than I thought she was. Like, but no. but it grew on me throughout the movie. I
but
was just like, yeah.
Technically, Cliff isn't a tool because, well, I mean, he has tool-like qualities, but he says to her from the jump, you do realize I see other girls.
Yeah.
You do realize we're not exclusive. And she's just like, huh, what?
Right.
Also,
Right.
it's a Stevie Wonder. Like,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and she's 23. I wish I was 23. That's what I wrote.
I know. Yeah.
I know. I remember thinking, like, again, as a teenager, I'm like, wow, she's 23. Like, that's so cool. 23 is a cool age.
I do have to say, I feel like I wrote that Matt Dillon was a tool because the only, like, I know him from many, many things, but the one primary movie that I know him from is Wild Things. And he's such a tool in that movie.
He's the cop. He's a jerky cop, isn't he?
Yes.
I've never seen that movie all the way through.
What are you talking about?
That was one of my favorites, too. I mean, not one of my favorites, but I like that movie. I was like, this is dangerous.
It was dangerous. It was like,
Danger.
You got, I remember a bunch of us, it was like, came out senior year, didn't it?
I don't know, but I remember somebody rented or had it at our apartment on Cumberland Street.
Yes, and we all got in and watched it.
I think I may have been working, and I
think
maybe
it was
like
in
got
my
there
bedroom.
late or
I'm pretty
something.
sure it was in my bedroom.
I remember it vaguely from around that time, but I didn't see the whole thing. I really wasn't interested in it.
Yeah. So yeah.
But we meet Citizen Dick.
Yes.
AKA
Pearl Jam,
basically.
Oh my god, that was so exciting! I'm like, look at you on the drums,
at least 3 members of Pearl Jam: Eddie Vedder, Stone Gossard, and Jeff Ament.
That's right.
And it was so great. Like I loved Pearl Jam and this movie, and it was like the same time,
right?
And it was new, and Eddie Vedder was so cute, and like that was a huge part of me loving this movie.
I feel really bad that I said Janet was dumb. Now people are going to come at me. Don't come at me.
No, because that was your first impression.
Yeah.
You know that she. We'll get to the other parts where she grows.
For sure.
But anyway,
I thought Matt Dillon was pretty fantastic in this, like really comically funny.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, and from that Rolling Stone article, Nikki, you'll hear more about how that character got developed.
Okay.
Which was a little surprising too. And yeah, I was such a huge fan of Pearl Jam at the time too. So I was really tickled to see them on the screen and them making an attempt at acting. Because now looking back, I'm like, oh, that wasn't that great.
No, they were not good actors.
No, at all.
But like that was kind of endearing.
Yes.
I thought.
Yes.
So what did then they go to the club.
Yes. Who is playing at the club? What band is that?
Alice in Chains and also Soundgarden.
Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
Why?
Oh, go ahead.
Why was it crazy?
Well, because that's amazing. That like Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden were all in this movie.
And this group Mudhoney at the time was pretty popular as well, and they were featured.
That's pretty cool. So,
and when you read this Rolling Stone article, it's really interesting, and like I said, I'll link it on the website.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so neat how this movie was filmed like just before, like
Nirvana broke.
Yeah, like just before Seattle like kind of blew up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And these people were all like under the radar.
Yes.
At that time to like mainstream anything.
Right.
Like they all had I don't want to say they all had, but many of them had regular jobs. Like they were not just
they were like underground bands that were famous underground, but not kind of like Nirvana was famous underground, and then they just blew up across the scene. So Nirvana growing up, you know.
Yeah. So it was like this moment in time that was so special. Like it was so special.
And that was a conscious decision from the director.
Right.
From Cameron Crowe. Is he the director, producer? I don't know.
He wrote it. Did he write it and directed it?
Yeah. That was like a conscious decision. He wanted to highlight like Seattle's music scene, and that's what made him pull in Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and Alice in Chains into the movie, which I thought was a great idea.
Yeah, totally. So they are going back to this club, the Mime. I love this
What
mime.
is up with the mime?
This mime, it always just struck me as funny because this mime, he's a mime. Like, he's not even supposed to talk.
He smoked a cigarette without a cigarette.
So I love that mime scene so much that I would be able to recite it word for word for quite some time. Like, I just love what he said. And she's like, well, maybe it's the girls that you choose.
Hey, maybe I've been hurt. Maybe I've been dogged.
So fun fact, this is our first cameo. Well, besides the musicians, it's Eric Stoltz who's the mime.
What?
Yeah, which, like, I honestly, like, I can't even connect that.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't even look like
this
him.
Makes me already need to go back and watch the movie again.
Yeah. And then another fun fact with me just kind of like digging in deeper. Did you guys know that Eric Stoltz was supposed to be the original Marty McFly?
No.
Yes.
Wait, yes, I did. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I had heard that.
Scenes that they did like against each other. And they showed the same scene with Michael J. Fox and the same scene with Eric Stoltz. Like they did it like side by side somewhere.
They looked like each other back then. Like Eric Stoltz back then really looked like Michael J. Fox.
What happened?
Oh, totally.
Why wasn't Eric Stoltz in it?
I want to say he was originally cast, and then maybe Michael J. Fox was bigger, and they recast it with Michael J. Fox, but he was originally cast for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is interesting. Okay, that's the first cameo.
But he doesn't look anything like I don't feel like he looks like the mime, like, or the mime doesn't look like him. Like, they did a really good job. Doesn't even
sound like his voice.
No, it really doesn't. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It was funny in my notes. I put love the mime. Love disappears, baby.
Disappears, baby.
And then we get to the club.
Yes.
Alice in Chains is on the stage.
Yes.
Steve and Linda meet.
He sees her from across the room, and he just has to go and talk to her.
He's drawn to her.
Yes.
I love this. I love how they meet, and I love his question, and I even more so love her answer.
Oh my God. It was just like it was cutthroat. It was cutthroat.
It really was. And he's like, okay.
Okay.
Peace out.
Right. I'm just gonna walk back to where I was. Thank you very much. And I love her friend as the wing person, just kind of looking like, yeah, you did that to yourself.
Right. I always wanted to know, like, I always wanted more, or to know more about her friend. I don't even know her friend's name.
I have that in my notes. They kind of like fell off. Well, it's coming in another thing, but I was like, I kind of made a thing like, because their relationship became the highlight, you know, sometimes your friends kind of fall in the back.
Oh,
like that's kind of
Yeah.
what happened here. Like, because it was just her and her friend for you know what I mean? Like for the beginning of the movie. And then all of a sudden she meets this guy, falls in love. And like now both of them, both of their friends kind of took a backseat.
And the interesting thing is when Linda leaves, her friend sees her off, but when she comes back,
right,
Steve is waiting for her.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there was no cell phone was there a cell phone back then?
No.
So,
And I thought the same thing. Like, how did they coordinate that?
Right. And why didn't he leave? Why didn't he send her off?
Exactly.
Because they were in a weird place.
Yeah. I mean, I was pissed when she said that. Like, I know she's going through her emotions, but just to be like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
leaving. Grandma. Okay, we're skipping ahead.
Okay,
I was
yeah.
pissed at her for a lot of the movie. Just
Oh.
putting that out there.
So, at some point here, in between like them meeting and then them meeting again at the magazine stand, we see Cliff, because I have in my note that Cliff is kind of a bullshitter. But I always just thought he was kind of just dumb. Like, he did bullshit, but I feel like he was just dumb. And then maybe it's just a bit of both. I don't know. Like, and I know we already talked about Cliff, but I had this in my notes later. Like, I feel like when he's talking about Touch Me, I'm Dick, when he's doing like the interview, he's like, I think a lot of people look at him and think, hey, you know, I'm Dick and you can touch me.
Right.
But so it sounds like in one way he's bullshitting a little bit, but in another way I think he's just kind of dumb.
Well,
He's just kind of high.
I don't know.
Like Jordan Catalano.
I didn't really get that from him, but maybe.
Or just self-absorbed. Like he can't, you know, like, oh, when they're reading the reviews, I don't want to hear anything bad, you know?
Right. Like he can't get outside of himself.
Right.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
And maybe he is a little high, Nikki.
Oh my God. I totally forgot the one part I really loved about this.
Okay.
The guy, his friend, Steve's friend, he was storing phone numbers in his watch.
Oh, yeah.
20 numbers.
Sorry, I had to bring that up because it was great. I was like, yeah.
He's like 20 numbers that you're never going to call, 20 people you're never going to see. Like,
so, yeah. And then, so then they're at the magazine stand and they see Linda and her friends.
Right. Yeah. Steve's
Two things about this.
Day.
I absolutely love when they're talking and the friends are both like opposite each other, and he kind of gives the brunette a look,
right?
Yeah, and she's like, "No,
no, don't try it. I already know my limits, and you're my limit." Like,
no.
I
loved her hair too. The friend's
hair. She had
hair.
great hair too. Yeah,
God.
Yeah. I definitely remember moments in my life where I was like the wing woman. While like protecting your friend and kind of hanging out while she's getting to know some guy she likes, but also the friend kind of being like, so if they're getting together, maybe we should. I'm like, nope, no, not today.
So I didn't have this on because I just got it on on Amazon. But there's a deleted scene.
Yes,
and it is the magazine rack, and the magazines are talking to Steve.
Yes.
And I think
I had it on my DVD actually as I have that in my notes too as extra. It was like, bonuses that they give you on the DVD.
Yeah, yes, that's where it was.
Yeah. So yeah, the magazines are talking to him, which I thought was pretty interesting. But I think they talk to him
later.
Later, right?
I think you're right. When he goes back and he sees those two kids there.
Right. This is after his deal falls through. For the
yes, and he kind of loses his marbles there.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So then we're introduced to Debbie Hunt.
Oh, Debbie.
Debbie drove me crazy.
Her type A?
Yes.
Yeah.
She drove me crazy, like as a teenager. Watching this, I thought, like, no, this woman is too much. She is extra, and I can't with her.
Oh boy, it's about to get live. Hold up.
Oh, that's okay.
No, like it's a DJ set right now. Hold up. Do you hear it?
A little bit.
A little bit, but not too much.
Okay, it's super loud to me. Okay, they're done.
Okay.
Bye. Oh gosh, type A personality.
Oh yeah, Debbie Hunt. Yeah, and she was talking about her video date. Expect the best.
Do you remember those things back in the day?
So, I only remember ever like hearing about them. I don't remember having any experience with them.
Oh no, definitely no. That's definitely before our time. But there were different spoofs like on Saturday Night Live or different comments about it.
There was a YouTube video going around a little while ago, like with a bunch of like applicants.
Clips.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember seeing that, actually, now that you say that.
And then so I think that's our second cameo, maybe, where the next Martin Scorsese, not Scorsese,
Yes.
Scorsese,
Yes.
is Tim Burton.
Yes.
Right. That, when she goes to have it done, is a little bit later, but yeah.
Oh, is it?
This is where I think they're just like sitting around and she's talking about expect the best.
Right. She's talking in the coffee house.
The coffee shop.
Everybody worked at.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how did they have a phone? Like, was it their phone from, like, he was just gonna, like, call? I didn't understand that part.
Oh, you mean like towards the end when they gave Steve the phone?
Yeah.
It was the coffee shop phone.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe they just was, like, they were next door to their apartment and...
Oh, no. I think it was the coffee shop's phone, like cordless phone.
Okay.
Because, of course, nobody had cell phones.
No.
Right. Even there's a scene where Janet is on the roof, and you see her that she has her phone extended. How she got it up there, I don't know. But
I always tried to figure that out.
It's extended. I was like, how did she do it? But it's extended across the courtyard onto the roof.
I always figured that she took the phone with the cord with her, and then she like weighted down the cord and threw it across
to her apartment,
and like made a really good shot.
That's pretty freaking amazing. Or it was like a U-shaped, Brooke. So maybe she got it up to right above her window, then walked around the roof.
Smart, maybe. Yeah.
It just occurred to me.
That is brilliant.
That's a long ass cord.
Yep.
Anyway, okay.
Nikki probably had a cord about that long.
Yep.
So since we were just talking about her sitting out on her, this is a little bit later, but with her telephone cord, I used to sit on my roof of my house, and I would pull my telephone out there, and I would feel like Janet.
Oh.
Because
it was clearly a flat roof, I'm guessing.
Well, it wasn't really a flat roof, but it was like the roof to our porch.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't like a high pitch. It was just like a little bit slanted.
Okay. Got it.
But Nikki, do you remember going out on my roof?
No, I never went out on your roof.
You never went on my roof. I remember laying out and getting a tan on my roof.
No.
Wow.
I also remember not eavesdropping, but like not even spying, but just sitting on my roof and looking at the cute boy that lived at the corner. But yeah, I would put like a towel or a blanket out there, and I'd go sit out there, and I'd bring my phone and a magazine.
Wow.
And I remember the neighbor complaining once to my mom.
Why?
We were not accepted in that neighborhood for the most part, because like my brother was allowed to play with toy guns and I sat on my roof.
Okay.
Like, so we were like, they probably thought we were like trash.
No.
No.
I
mean, it's fine. I don't care. And my parents didn't care. My parents were like, you can't sit on your roof. They were like, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're kids.
Right.
Like, let the 14-year-old girls sit out on the roof if they want. They're fine. They're not falling off.
Right.
Like, let the little boys play with water guns. They're 8 years old.
Exactly. It's
right. So anyway, I wanted to be Janet. I thought she was so cool. So then Steve and Linda go out for their dinner. No. Lunch. No.
Nope.
Coffee. No.
No. Water.
Water.
Okay, we'll meet for water.
I always thought that was really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for the server. You're
But
taking
also,
up a table and you're not even
uncomfortable for him. Like, she's clearly telling you no. And you're
Right.
Yes, that's what. Yeah.
You're like, I'll keep going down the list. What was he gonna go next to? Like, let's clean silverware. Like,
I guess I didn't realize they actually went only for water.
Yeah, that's all they had was water.
Oh.
And
Linda was burnt. She was burnt from that Spanish guy. She was not playing.
And it's like, Linda, it was 3 days. Linda, listen.
So,
But-
yes.
But then you hear more about why she was so burnt when she goes on her date with her second date with Steve.
When she goes to do laundry.
Yeah, the laundry date
Yeah, the laundry date.
at his house.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember this.
And she's talking about her old boyfriend.
Wait, I was wondering why she was doing laundry at his house. It was a
Yeah,
laundry date?
It seems that way. They don't really say.
Yeah, they don't get
I
into
thought
it, but
maybe
she brings her laundry over.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that is weird. I'm like, no, there's no way I'm coming to wash anything at this guy that I'm interested in. No. No. But yeah, she goes through like her dating history, and boy, oh boy, she's had some doozies.
Right. So
I must have missed this part of the movie.
it was not a long part.
No. Like
But
there's a scene where she's talking about a boyfriend breaks up with her right when they're about to descend on a roller coaster ride.
Oh yeah, I saw that part.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I forgot the other. And then she talks about Andy, the sensitive ponytail guy.
Oh yeah.
right, that's what I wrote in my notes. Andy's sensitive ponytail
guy. We all know.
And the all right, hold on, I gotta go back. Okay. The part where after they have the water date
Mm-hmm.
and she goes to her okay, so they go to his car and he unlocks her door.
Yes, I have this.
And then she unlocks his door.
Right.
In my little teenage brain, that was everything.
That was everything. And I don't know which came first, but there's a scene just like it in the Bronx Tale, a Bronx Tale movie. Did you guys ever see that?
No.
Oh my
No.
God, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's like loosely based on Robert De Niro's life, I believe.
Oh really?
Oh, interesting.
No, not Robert De Niro. Who's the other guy? Chaz Palminteri.
Oh. I
Who?
don't know who that is.
Chaz Palminteri.
Al Pacino?
No, Chaz Palminteri.
Oh wait, who's that?
When you see his face, you'll be like, I know exactly who he is.
Oh,
It's
okay.
loosely based on his life, but there's a scene where she leans over to open the car door after he opens the door for her,
Oh,
and he's like, "This is how I know she's one of the great ones."
I know exactly who you're talking about,
Yes.
and it's from 1993.
So it's after. This
Yep.
movie. Okay, right after.
1 year after September 93.
I love that scene. I thought it was everything as well, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." I learned social cues from a movie because we didn't have a car growing up. So it would never occur to me to lean over and open the car door for someone after they've opened the door and let me in.
Right.
So I thought that was so great. And just flashback to the water scene. That is our second or third
Oh yeah.
cameo from Paul Giamatti.
Yes.
He's the guy who's like making out like crazy with the girl next to them.
Oh, I thought that was his friend.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, his friend is also a pretty famous actor. He went on to go and be in The Wire. Jim True.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, that's why I fell in love
never
with
seen
Idris Elba. Okay. So he went on to do a lot of stuff as well. Okay.
See, I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else. So that's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He had
I'll
a
have
very
to look it up.
pivotal role in that whole series. So
Oh, neat. Okay. So, where are we? So then they meet. They do the water date.
then
Unlock
they
the door.
do the
Okay.
laundry date.
Who says I have this in my notes, and I've said it in my head over and over and over again throughout my life,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't remember. Oh, Janet is this when Janet goes to Steve's apartment before he loses his marbles? But like, when
she's talking to him about Cliff.
Yeah,
maybe.
And I thought,
Yes.
is she trying to put the moves on him?
On Steve while talking about Cliff.
Yeah, I didn't get Janet. I didn't get our character.
No, I did not think she was trying to put the moves on him. But is this when she says, or he says to her, "You're a realist / dreamer"?
Yes.
Because I say that in my head, not about anything, but like, you know, when just a little quote or something will pop into your head.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout my life, for whatever reason, this little line just pops into my head. You're a realist / dreamer.
Huh.
I just like how they say it. But
Cameron Crowe writes very well. I have to say that.
Yes.
So on my DV, there it looks like they're about to make out, and then Linda's like, "Nope, I'm not doing this again," and she jumps out and leaves. Right.
Yep.
So on my DVD, it had some bonus material, and it looks like there was a scene in between, because I always thought, how did he figure out where Linda lived?
Yeah.
She drove to his house.
Right.
Like, how did he know? He drove her back to work, not back to her house after their water date.
Right.
So there's a scene where you see him going to her old apartment. I guess he must have looked her up in the directory, but her new address was not showing.
Oh.
And Debbie Mazur is her former roommate. Do you know Debbie Mazur?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Jackie, I remember this.
Was it in the movie?
No, it was in the DVD extras.
Yes.
I haven't seen them since I was probably like 20.
Yeah. And Debbie is like, "Oh, Linda." So she must have given Steve her new address.
Yes.
But they cut that out. So, editing, I guess. But
right.
Yeah.
Gosh. That's so weird. Because when you were saying it, it just came back in my memory banks.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think they were saucy with each other too. Like Debbie Mazur's character was kind of like, "Oh, that Linda. Like, we're not really friendly. Go find her, X, Y, and Z." So.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it must have been. Yeah, that must have been somewhere in between there.
Yeah.
Because then he shows up. P.S.
Yes.
Who loads a toothbrush, gets it locked and loaded, and then goes and cozies up on the sofa with it?
Exactly.
I have that in my notes.
I always thought that was weird.
Because,
And
what
also,
happens if it drips down your face? What happens if
Yeah.
it drips down your face?
Right, and also, she clearly didn't put water on her toothbrush first.
Yeah.
Is that why it stayed there? Because I'm like, how come my toothpaste isn't falling off?
Right. So who? I mean, I don't know. Sorry if I'm offending anybody, but how does anybody wash or brush their teeth dry? Like, I can't imagine.
And I don't usually brush my teeth with like my real clothes on, because there's probably going to be a drop or two.
True. You know what? You're right.
So that was a little weird. Like, and why would you put toothpaste on your toothbrush and then go back to your living room? Like, finish brushing your teeth.
Right. Brush your teeth with a sink like a normal human being. Like, and then tap the water off, put it in the cup,
Right.
and then go watch TV.
And like, okay, I have another thing when they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
put the toothbrush down.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a thing right there. Just put the toothbrush down. You can get it later.
Right. Like, who answers their door with a toothbrush with toothpaste on? Yeah. And I have
Clearly,
to say,
Linda.
like, I kind of missed the romantical part of that scene because I was so consumed with what's going to happen with the toothpaste.
Yes, it was distracting.
Yeah. Is it going to drop? Is it going to fall? Is it going to smear? What's going to happen? Yeah.
But can we just say, when he says, "I was just nowhere near your neighborhood,"
melting.
that is like the best line in the whole movie.
Melting. If someone does that present day, I'm be like, well, you got 5 seconds before I call the police.
I am fairly certain I had that in my AOL profile, like bio, or under the quote, at least for a period of time.
Oh,
because I love that line. But yeah, you're right. present day,
Yeah.
stalker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stalker.
How did you know where I lived? Mm-mm.
Yeah. So then they do their thing.
Yes.
This
With
whole scene went over my head for the most part.
where she's like, "What are you thinking?"
Yes.
That's my favorite part. And he's like, I don't know who the basketball player was, but that was funny.
Xavier McDaniel.
Okay.
He played for a Seattle team, I'm guessing.
Yes, Sonics.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and they talk about him earlier in the movie, like she dogs on him and he's like, oh, Xavier McDaniel, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
This all went over my head. Like the bed shaking went over my head.
Ah.
Like the rattling went over my head. The Xavier McDaniel, like daydream and him saying, Steve, don't come yet. I didn't understand any of that. I was like, come where? I don't understand.
But during this whole scene, is that when sensitive ponytail guy Andy also calls him
Yes.
voicemail?
Yes.
Okay, so what is Andy? Who is Andy talking about? He's talking about the other guy, right?
He's talking about Steve.
He's
Oh,
talking,
he's talking about Steve? Okay.
Because she's buddies with Andy, so she told Andy, I'm going on this date with this guy. And he's calling to say, you know, how did your date go? I've been thinking X, Y, and Z about this guy, which I thought was a little funny. And she tries to drown him out by turning up the TV or something.
Oh, yeah, My Three Sons.
Yes.
I would be horrified. I would have died of embarrassment.
I would have been
But,
like, let's pause for a second, give me a moment, and like bash the phone down.
Right. I'm just going to take the phone off the hook and leave it there.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I would have been so embarrassed.
Yeah.
I had that in my notes. I would have been dead.
And
But, like, that whole scene, for the most part, went over my head.
Yeah. Well, no, I got what was going on, but I thought it was pretty funny the way it just played out. Yeah, you know what? And I also just about this particular movie, and I can't remember if he's done it in his other films, but I like the whole monologue piece of it all. Did I say that already?
No.
Where they kind of are talking about themselves.
Yes.
Or other characters, and you're getting a sense of who they are, what they're about, without it having to play out in front of you.
Yes, I like that too.
Yeah. Okay, so they're into each other.
Yes, they're into each other and they've done the deed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we cut to Janet, who's gonna make a salad.
I'm so disturbed by the state of that lettuce.
Me too. So
Disturbed by the way she cut those tomatoes.
Yes,
Disturbed.
she cut them weird. Like I remember thinking, like her making a salad seemed so adult to me at that time, but the way she made it was wrong. And also, that lettuce was disgusting.
It was no. I mean, was it supposed to denote that she was struggling? And I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know, but it was gross.
It was gross.
And then the only other note I have from that is Sharpie on the black shoes. I've done that many times in my life.
Oh, yes. I mean, especially when you have like Doc Martens.
Yes.
So much so. I did appreciate the whole, like, if I make this basket, then it means X, Y, and Z. I definitely played that game with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, he loves me not with a flower. Or the magic 8-ball.
Yes.
I played if I make this basket all the time.
I bet you did.
Right. And like, did the basket mean A or did it mean B when it wasn't what you wanted?
Right. Did it mean call him or don't call him?
Right.
Right.
Let me do that over. This one really counts. This one counts.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Yeah. That was practice. And then
we also found out that Steve and Janet used to date.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
Right around here after this.
Because she's talking to him about Cliff, right? Like she talks
Yes, because the Amazon woman thing.
Right.
Yes, because she's talking about her boobs.
Right. And then we get to Dr. Jameson. You can't go wrong with Bill Pullman.
Oh my gosh. This
I
scene.
loved Bill Pullman in this. And I thought he was so like handsome and dad-like.
Yes. Yeah. So that that's so funny you say that because I think like I love Bill Pullman, but if he came up to me at a bar and was like, "Hey, what's up, brown sugar honey?" I'd be like, "It's really nice to meet you, but that's where we end."
Right,
Like,
but you were like a dad,
right,
and not like
always.
daddy, like dad.
Dad, always. Yes. A sexy dad.
So
Right.
so my whole thing in this whole thing is I was like, Janet, why don't you hook up with the doctor?
Oh, I was all about it. I was all
Same.
about it.
Same.
Yeah.
But
But we all know that can't happen. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of doctors not seeing that movie. We don't hook up with our patients.
Yeah.
right.
Right.
So the one note I had from this scene
Mhm.
though is that how boobs are chosen? Like, do they just like pull it up in a computer and go like boop 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 boop?
I think they
Beep,
do,
beep, 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 beep.
like they take a picture of you
Boop, boop, boop.
and they now, I mean, put them on you.
Like I always wondered that, like back then, like is this really how boobs are chosen? And I still don't really know,
I
but yeah,
don't
they would
know.
have to like simulate some.
I'm pretty
I
sure there's a
guess.
simulator. I did do that plastic surgeon website
That's
way back.
right.
I
That's
saw
right.
so many boobs. So
Really?
many boobs. I am all
That's
set
right.
with seeing any more boobs. Like I saw all kinds of boobs, and a lot of them were botched surgeries.
Oh no.
Because he
Ooh.
he was a fixer, so
Oh,
like
okay.
he would fix these botched surgeries. Like they would come to him, and he would fix them.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I
That's
have
true.
never looked at so many boobs.
Oh my god.
And I didn't know I was gonna have to look at boobs when I signed up for that. But yeah, I saw a lot of noses and a lot of stuff.
Wow.
Lots of work.
Yeah.
I like
Wow.
when he tells her like, you know what, you're fine the way you are. And she's like,
Yes.
wow, did my check bounce?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So she just didn't get it that he was looking out for her best interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. We cut to this like not montage, kind of like a montage where they're each separately discussing their relationship and getting advice from their friends.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And like Steve is in the coffee shop with Janet
Yes.
and a couple of Pearl Jam guys.
Yep.
And Janet was 100% right.
Yep.
Like, don't play games. Just be real. Like, be authentic.
Right.
And this taught me that games are stupid.
Yeah.
Like, as a teenager, like, I remember watching this, like, when he doesn't call her for 4 days.
Right.
And I remember thinking, like, that's stupid. Why would you do that? If you like somebody, you call them.
So actually, that's my next note where I say like Cameron Crowe definitely takes you through young adulthood. Should I call? Should I not call? Should I say hello? How should I say hello? You know, like
Right.
How vulnerable should I let myself be? You know, how much of my real self, how much of my, what is it, my super me do I let show? So I really feel like he brought that out through the different characters in the movie, just the varied states of vulnerability and kind of like the decision-making process of what your next step is going to be when you're engaging with someone you really are into.
Yeah. He does Cameron Crowe did an amazing job. And didn't he also do, what other movie did he do? Didn't he do?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes.
And Say Anything.
That's right. Say Anything.
Oh, iconic.
For real.
Yeah.
Like he's done a really good job with all of that.
Right.
And I just remember thinking like that. If you like somebody, you like them, just call them. Don't play games. Don't be dumb. Like when he says, "Oh, if I was playing games, I would have waited a week to call you."
Right. Okay, you're done. Bye.
Right. But I also thought that she was like jumping to conclusions or like she was too quick to just throw him away.
She was so used to, I guess, being burned that she was very distrustful, and he played into whatever she was expecting.
Right. And this is where she pulls out the T-shirt and cleans the toilet with it.
I love it. And you hear her going through the motions like, why? I still like you, but I hate you. Like, you know,
Mhm.
I definitely have had those days. Boy, oh boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we go to Debbie. Oh, this is where Debbie goes and actually like does the video.
Yes.
Wait, one last scene with the blue shirt. She says, "It's better to be the dumper than the dumpy."
Yes. I've thought that in my life.
That
Like
is, it is true.
I've heard that so many times throughout my lifetime.
Yep.
So,
I've thought that.
I really
Yeah.
wish I would have watched this video back in. Could have saved me at least one.
Okay, so now we're into yes.
So Debbie does her video. Her video is interesting.
Debbie, was it Debbie Town? Debbie
Country.
Debbie Country.
Come to Debbie Country. Oh, Lord.
What? Yeah.
Jeez.
That is original.
It was weird because they later on when they show the guys' videos, they're not like that.
No, not at all. But it was Martin Scorsese.
Right. So is it because she paid the extra $10? And all of a sudden she's like Superwoman flying through the air.
What a mess. That was a mess.
So then
you do hear some lingo with Pam calling her plastic.
Yes.
Oh no, this is later on. This is later on after she finds her date. Right. Okay, let me stop.
Oh, right, yeah. And so then we were back and they're what's his name? Cliff is they're reading the review and he's like, I don't want to hear it. Right. And then Eddie has that line. A compliment for us is a compliment for you. I love it. He was so cute. Then this is when Janet goes back to the doctor.
Yes.
And he's like, are you his Miss Right? Or are you his
Miss Maybe?
Miss Maybe.
Yeah.
And his character was 33. And this is what I have in my notes. Jesus, that seemed so old to me at the time.
Yeah.
And he was into Janet.
Janet. I was like, Janet, go for it. Go for it, girl.
Get yourself a plastic surgeon. Yes.
You're a surgeon. Many, many babes are into that.
Right. Except you.
You're Dr. Jameson. So then we cut back to Janet. Well, the bee video.
The bee video?
The bees.
Oh, yes. With Cliff and program watching.
Yes. I watched the bee video.
And the Tide versus Bless You.
Yes. And Janet sneezes and he is like, don't get me sick, babe. I got a show coming up or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, so self-absorbed. That's the tool behavior.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's why I said tool.
And then this realization that she has in this moment, I remember watching this and being like, yes, you go, girl.
I don't have to be here.
Right. And then they have the instrumental of Waiting for Somebody in the background.
Yes.
As she's dancing around with her cucumber mask or avocado mask. Yeah.
Oh, right. When she calls. Wait, no.
Oh, no. That's when she calls the wrong guy. Right.
Right.
I don't know.
I think you got the wrong number, baby. But I'll be right over. Okay. So then we have Blue Seattle. Linda calls Steve and all is well.
Yes.
And then they're like hanging out. She's eating popcorn. And she's like, I'm late.
Yeah.
How late? Late. And so then Steve goes and buys some pregnancy tests. And then
he buys like 15.
Right. He's one of everything. I love that he picks up the rose for her.
Yes.
I thought that was really sweet.
Yes.
And then the checkout guy is...
It's Ari from Entourage.
Jeremy Piven.
Yeah. Jeremy Piven. And any role that he's ever had since then that I've ever seen, I always see him as this guy. Always. Yes. And he's doing funny. Those sound effects.
So funny. What's wrong with little peace? He said,
love and under. Peace.
Peace.
Oh. So good.
in. He's like, oh, you might be busy.
And then I had in my notes that home pregnancy test that they did was like some kind of science experiment.
Yes.
What the hell was that? It was like 2 beakers. You mixed.
All we had to do was pee on a stick.
Right. I wrote, we've come a long way.
Yes.
I'm like, did that glass stand come with it? Like, what?
Well, it must have cost $1 million. Like, think about it.
Yes.
For all that glass.
Like, I want to know more. Is that what pregnancy tests were like? Like, could you not
Maybe.
just pee on a stick?
God.
I know we have listeners that had babies, like, probably in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's probably
mid-90s.
I should ask my sister.
Yes, you should. Because I want to know, like, did you do a home pregnancy test, and is that what it looked like?
Yeah, we need
Like
to
a
get
glass, like,
picture.
beaker,
Yeah.
and like
that you mixed.
right.
Like, what? That was weird.
What?
But she was blue means pregnant, and
yeah.
And they were like, should we put it up against something blue? Oh no, let's put it up against something white. Like,
and then you see it, and you're like, no, that's blue.
Yeah,
That's blue.
That's definitely blue.
yeah.
Make no mistake,
Yeah.
that's blue.
That's why they gave you that whole big glass container, so you won't be confused.
Right.
So then we go back to the coffee shop. Debbie's there with the expect the best videos from the guys.
Yes.
And her choice was the best choice.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely, by far.
I tried to find out who the guys, who I think his name was Spiro or something.
Yeah.
He's a comedian. He's something. Like, his face is very familiar. I have to go
Okay,
back.
so I thought the same thing, but I didn't look him up.
Like, he almost looked a little bit like Chris Rock, but it obviously wouldn't be Chris Rock.
Right.
But I need to look him up. I meant to slow up the credits to see who played that role.
Oh, well, maybe I'll look it up here on IMDb because I'm there.
Okay.
But
And
then
the bike guy is who?
well, what's his? I don't know his name, but I know he was on 30 something.
I was just going to say 30 something.
I couldn't remember what show he was from, but he has the same long hair.
Yes, Peter Horton is his real name.
Peter Horton. Okay. Wait,
And the bicycle guy.
the bicycle guy. Okay.
Yep. And I thought that he was definitely the best choice
Yes, he was.
by far. He just seemed the most normal, and he was
But
super,
I didn't.
super
I was like,
handsome.
she's so not into biking. Like, what is she going to do?
So that just goes to show how, like, desperate she is, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, she's sitting there with, like, a scarf on and a biking outfit, like,
Yeah.
at a, you know.
Okay, so Spiro was played by Bernard Bentley.
Bernard Bentley.
When I look up all filmography, there's like he's best known for Singles.
Oh, okay.
So
He must just look like somebody.
yeah, actor, one movie, Singles.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. But he does have a picture on his IMDb, which is pretty rare for somebody who has one credit. So maybe he's trying to get back out there. Good for him.
Maybe,
I wish him luck.
Um,
So then I noted her outfit
yeah. Like,
for the
what?
date.
Right.
Dude, what are you doing? You look like a fool.
Trying to impress him because he's into biking.
Right. But for someone that was kind of like decked herself out for biking, she
Right.
could ride pretty well.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, she was desperate to get to this guy. She was figuring it out real fast.
She was. True, yes. I don't think I could do that. But then she gets to her apartment and there he is with good old Pammy. Pammy from UW.
Pammy from UW. And he's clearly into her.
Mhm.
He's clearly into her.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of like she was mad at Pam,
Right.
and I get it. But like, I thought that was kind of slimy of him too.
Yeah, really. Because
But then
he knew he was on a date. Like,
Right. But then the girls take it to another level when they start like
negotiating
who's gonna get him and how much.
Yeah.
$80 and you do the dishes.
And Debbie, you
Sold.
told me to tell you when you're being plastic. Well, you're being plastic. I'm like, whoa. Whoa.
So that I appreciated that though. Like I like that, except for I didn't like that she like took offense to it.
Right. Yeah.
Because like Nikki, you and I have had those conversations where like, tell me if I'm like extra or if I'm overboard or if I'm whatever.
Yes.
But obviously like we have a different kind of friendship than what they had. Because
right.
if that were
you're
us,
like Nikki. You can't see me, but I'm putting my hand down a little, like tone it down, bring it down.
right. And that we would be cool. Like you wouldn't get mad at me.
No, because I asked you to do that.
Right. She was like, no.
Yeah. But they were clearly not friends like that.
No, they were not. They were not.
And Pam, actually, the person who played Pam, I looked her up too because I'm like, gosh, her face is familiar.
Yeah.
Her name is Allie Walker, and she was like the Profiler. You remember that TV show, The Profiler?
I never watched it, but I remember the hearing that.
And then she had a brief stint on soap opera Santa Barbara.
Oh, my mom used to watch Santa Barbara.
And there was something else. Oh, she was in While You Were Sleeping. Was she either the sister or the friend of Sandra Bullock in While You Were Sleeping?
I've never seen that movie.
What? That's another Bill Pullman classic.
I know. I really should see it. Actually, it's interesting that you say that because I saw it the other night come up on like Netflix or one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought like, oh, I got to go back and I got to watch that.
Oh, that was one of my favorites. That's one of my favorites too. I love Bill Pullman. So, okay. So
Debbie's a good egg.
Yeah. Debbie and Pam duke it out over 30-something guy.
Yeah. And then that's that.
That's that. You never hear from either one of them again, actually.
We see her at the end.
Do we?
Oh, no, we don't see Pam again.
You're right.
And we don't see 30-something guy again. But we do. Yeah. But we do see what's her name again?
Debbie.
Mm-hmm. I love her ending. But so then, okay. They have the historic chili dog.
Yeah.
And
what did you think about that? About him saying like we should like get married?
I was like, I mean, it's hard for me to get out of my head from when I was a teenager watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, do it. Like if it feels right, do it.
Right.
Like, don't agonize over it. If it's true, then do it. And if it's not, then don't.
I was all about it back then. Now I'd be like, hell to the no.
No. Baby does not mean you have to get married.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that is very true. Like, but yes, back then I was definitely all about it. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to get out of my head about it. Like my feelings.
Also, it was the time. Like, back in the 90s, it was still kind of like you get pregnant, you kind of try to make it work. It wasn't like now where absolutely you do not have to get married.
Right. Yeah.
But then they have the car accident.
Yeah. That was like that came out of nowhere.
And they're playing Pearl Jam, aren't they, on the radio?
I don't know.
I had that in my notes.
I don't know. I was listening to the conversation.
Oh.
I'll have to go back and listen and watch. But I just felt like so sad. That was heartbreaking. I felt really sad for her and for him.
Yeah.
But you know, I can't imagine what that feels like.
Again, I kind of went. Honestly, I was just like really surprised they were playing Pearl Jam. So I'm like, wait, that doesn't suit the storyline.
So then Cliff puts in Janet's stereo, and then I wrote, "Oh, hi, Chris Cornell."
Yes.
Wait, what?
I wrote, "Hi, Chris Cornell."
For what?
He's the guy that comes up and stands next to Cliff
Mm-hmm.
when he's like demoing her.
Oh,
For
the
stereo.
speakers. Oh.
Yeah.
So
And
I guess, yeah, go on.
oh no, I was just gonna say, and that's when the windows blow out, and
This
it's
is
kind of
when
a
I
bust.
this is when I started having a heart for Cliff.
It was one of the best scenes ever because he's looking like I'm doing something really great. I'm wooing her. You know, I went outside my box and he just totally fucked it up.
Yeah.
He really did. He tried.
Yeah,
He
and
did
she's
try.
kind of like, huh? He's like, okay, I'll replace your windows.
Thanks.
But fun fact from that Rolling Stones article too, that Cliff was supposed to be Chris Cornell.
Oh, no
Yeah.
way.
Yes. And it sounds like Cameron Crowe was like, it's going to take a lot of practice with his acting, so we'll just figure out a way to just sneak him in here and there, and we'll just get a real actor to play this part.
Which worked out beautifully.
Yeah, because it sounds like Cameron Crowe was a little bit in love with Chris Cornell. Like,
it really did.
Yeah. He's like, I won't even acknowledge that he's dead. He's just in this article. It was interesting. Yeah. Sounds like he's a real light. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is where I put Linda's back. So she came back. Linda came back.
Yes. Oh,
and this is where I just wrote it's not the same.
Yeah.
He said, we don't have to be what we were before.
Yep.
What, Steve? What?
Right.
Yeah.
And then they're like friends, and I'm like, what? No, what? No.
Right. And then she goes back to the sensitive ponytail guy.
Yeah, what? What the
What
hell?
what is up with that?
I just kept thinking, is she having sex with him? Like,
ew.
No.
When he even says, even when he leans over, he's like, he doesn't even lean over. He just looks at her. He's like, I love you.
Yeah.
It's like,
and
just
she,
like what
and
you
she's
said,
like,
the face you made. Yeah, it's like,
love you too.
No, safe is not good. No.
I know. She said it's like being alone together.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, God.
That's wrong. Just wrong.
Even I knew back then that was wrong. Like, no.
So then, okay. So at some point in here, I just wrote Tom Skerritt is great.
Oh, the mayor of Seattle.
Yes. He had such a tiny role, but like he was so good at it.
Because I mean, just the catch line was, people don't seem to understand. People love their cars.
Right.
Like,
yes.
Forget about your super train. People are gonna want to get in their cars. That's it.
That's it. End of story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna thank you for your time.
Right.
No.
When Steve goes downhill, all I could think of is that he probably smells really bad.
Yeah, me too. When the garbage was piled up, I'm like, that probably smells really bad.
Really bad. Oh, and then Janet confirms it. She's like, "Oh, Steve, when's the last time you took a shower?"
In my notes, I wrote, "Steve, man, you gross."
Yeah.
Nasty.
And nutty. You gross and you nutty.
But I mean, it really depicted how like devastated he was.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I also wrote that Janet, when she came to visit him, she was so kind.
She was.
She was.
Like, she was being so kind to him. And then they had that awkward ass kiss.
Oh my gosh. I was like, what
that
are
was
you doing,
awkward.
Steve?
Steve, don't do that, Steve, please.
But she handled it so well.
So well.
Yeah.
She's like, well, okay. Go wash up.
And then the her knock. This is important. Her knock, when she's like, if I have any news to share, if I hear of anything, I'm gonna come and I'll knock 4 times. And he's like, what's the knock?
Right,
so
right.
She had to do it. And then after.
Wait. We got to rewind a little bit though.
Yeah.
Because maybe before or after his deal, he's really devastated about Linda. Like, he's like, what was I thinking?
Oh, and he called
her.
Oh, yes. And he calls her.
He calls her, and then the machine eats up her tape as she walks. I'm like, Linda girl.
Yeah.
Use some Scotch tape and fix that. Like,
I know. Listen to that message.
No.
You could have
Yeah.
won $1 million. You don't know.
Right. That was just before he got news about his Super Train project.
Okay, so he lost his girl and he lost his dream.
Right.
There's a reason why he wasn't washing.
Right.
And then this is also where we find out that Debbie went to Cabo and asked to be seated next to a single guy. And
That was an
kid.
A-hole agent right there. That was an A-hole agent.
How about 3C?
Like, really? Like, that's a B right there.
But then she gets there, and who does she meet but Victor Garber?
Yeah.
And he loves her earrings.
Yes, the ones that she only loves.
That's
right. That nobody loves but me. I love her ending.
That was great. And then the flowers that kept coming and coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he'd spell. What did he spell out?
Oh, that was Cliff.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Janet. Right. And yeah, another thing, Janet, you just pushed all the rose petals into a drawer. Like, you went out the garbage.
Right. Because she still like had a soft spot for him. That's what I think.
That was weird. Like, they're gonna decompose in there, and then you're gonna have to clean it up.
That's true. That's true.
I never thought of that.
But I just felt like she couldn't bring herself to throw them away because she still had a spot in her heart for him.
Okay.
And I mean, clearly she did.
Yeah.
But the part where she says that, she thinks he's very entertaining.
Oh my God, I love that line.
And he's like, I did too, because it was perfect. That was the perfect thing for her to say.
Yeah, and it's true. I've definitely had some entertaining boyfriends in the past.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it then, but looking back, I'm like, oh, he was entertaining. That's what I liked about him.
And then when he says, "You rock my world," I thought that was really, like, it was a huge moment for Cliff.
Yeah, he had a realization, and his analogy sucks with the airplanes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really
I was like, what? That was the worst.
I wrote Cliff's story about living by the airport. He was trying.
He was trying, though. He just couldn't find the right words, I guess.
Right. And then the knock. We're back in Steve's apartment. We hear the knock.
Yeah.
He thinks it's Janet.
Okay, he thinks it's Janet. Yep.
And he answers the door, and she says, "I was just nowhere near your neighborhood."
Boom. And he said, "What took you so long?"
Yeah. That made me a little teary-eyed, I will say.
Yeah. I don't need to be your girlfriend. I just want to know you again.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. I love it.
I love it. And Cameron Cole gives us our happy ending.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
a great movie.
Janet sneezes. Cliff says, "Bless you."
Yes.
All is well.
Yes.
All is well in the world.
Not gesundheit, but bless you.
Right, because it's nicer.
Yeah.
And I've always, that's always stuck with me too. Bless you is nicer than gesundheit.
I'm like, I don't think I recall gesundheit growing up until much later.
I think I just remember hearing it on TV.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever said that to me.
Gesundheit.
No.
I don't know if anybody has or not. I don't think that I would really remember. But
We always say, "Bless you, my son."
God bless you, my son. God bless you, my son. But yeah,
And then we do this.
the movie wrapped up in a neat little bow. Wait, and then you do what? Hold on, I'm looking.
We do this.
Right of the cross.
So that was Singles.
That's Singles.
That was so great. That was so good.
Soundtrack is amazing. Even though we kind of went step by step of the movie. If you guys haven't seen it, you should see it.
Yeah.
It's hard to find. You probably have to rent it.
Yes, you can rent it on Amazon for 99 cents.
Oh, you can.
I should have rented it there. You can rent it on Google Play for $2.99.
Yeah,
it was 99 cents for high def.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You can buy it for $5.99.
Oh wow!
I actually whipped out my DVD because oh, singles.
You know what's crazy is I actually think I own it on DVD, but I've never watched it.
I have it, but my DVD player, we have one that works, and it's one of those like 100 DVD carousels.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
goodness!
It's old. Like it was Pete. Like Pete got that when he worked at Circuit. So I'd have to like find the DVD, come downstairs, which I'd never come down here,
Right.
and just do the whole thing. And I'm like, you know what? 99 cents is way easier.
Yes. Yes.
But you guys, you should watch it if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen it in a long
Yeah.
time, you should watch it because it's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's a great film. I mean, now remember it was in 1992, so
Yeah.
it's a period piece at this point.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
But I
I'm so
think
glad
that
that
it
we
was-
did it. I'm so glad, and I'm so glad, Jackie, that you came on.
I know, me too.
Thank you. Well, we talked about how much we love singles. So when you said, I was like, yes, I'm gonna watch it again.
I knew I couldn't give it the right. You know what I mean? Like So I was like, Jackie's really excited about it. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Not that I
And
wasn't
Nikki, I'm so
excited
glad you
about it.
watched it.
I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. And I'm sorry that I said that Janet was dumb. But that was my first impression. Like afterwards I loved her. But like my very first impression.
I mean, no, she definitely had some bimbo moments. She's like, girl, he's telling you your face, and you're still like, I love you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you were gonna get a boob job for him. For a guy.
Right.
Yep.
To be an Amazon type.
Right.
But her character grew, and I loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I loved her.
And sometimes that's what relationships are, right? Like bad relationships teach you what your limits are, or what you're willing to accept, or what your value really is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another message through this film.
Yeah.
I have to say, okay, so I was in, and Nikki, you know this relationship that I had. I was in this relationship where I lived with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that it was not ever going to work in the long term. I knew it was not going to work. But I just kept hanging on and like hoping that it would change, and hoping that it would get better, and hoping that he would change.
Yeah.
But he wasn't changing.
No.
And I'm not even kidding. I had it was like I heard Janet Livermore in my brain. One night we were out to dinner. It was New Year's Eve, and I was sitting there at the table, and I heard in my brain, like, you don't need to be here. Like, you don't need to be here. And that night I said, as of February 1st, I'm going to be moved out. And I just told him, and he was like, okay.
Wow.
So but like I heard that in my brain. Like, you don't need to do this. Like, you are better than this.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear it was Janet Livermore.
There you go. And that's why you got to love her.
Yep. I have my own epiphany.
Just
Sometimes
like I
seeing
said,
other people's growth helps you see your own growth.
really wish I would have
Potential.
saw this movie. Brooke, I wish you would have made me sit down and watch this movie. We could have avoided the whole,
Wow. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm glad you watched it now.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was our episode.
That's it, you guys.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Jackie.
I couldn't stop talking. Sorry.
No,
it's
please.
perfect. It's
No,
great.
it was perfect. Like, it could
Yes,
have
it
been
was.
more perfect, because, like, honestly, like, I really wanted it to do it justice for Brooke, and I didn't. It's like I loved listening to the both of you, because there were things that I just didn't even notice, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. Now I have to go back and watch it again. So,
I'm going to change your ringtone on my phone to Dyslexic Heart.
who, mine? I'm going to go back and re-listen to that song, and I'm going to listen to the lyrics. There must be a reason why I don't like it. Brooke, did you play it like all the time?
I don't know. No, I mean, I didn't play it any more than any of the others.
maybe it was like, I feel like somebody used to sing it all the time or something, but I don't think it was you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Another last fun fact about that Rolling Stone article. So when Cameron Crowe was pitching this movie, the Warner Brothers, I guess, decided, you know what, instead of making it a movie, we want to make it into a TV show.
Oh.
Yes.
And Cameron, I was like, what? And Cameron Crowe was like, no, I wanted to say a movie. And the idea turned into Friends.
No way!
Yeah.
The fountain scene, the courtyard, coffee shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was such a good
That's
article.
cool.
Yeah.
That's
I was
really
like,
cool.
and this article is Cameron Crowe talking about the movie 25
years. Yeah.
So
it's a few years old.
I can't wait to read it.
Yeah. So that's crazy.
That is crazy.
It really does. Like it's funny when you think about Friends and you think about singles. You're like, yeah, actually, you know what? It kind of checks out.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any thoughts on the movie, please
tweet us.
Feel free. Tweet us. Call us. Leave us a voice message.
Yeah.
1-857-271-1047.
Yay.
Yeah.
And if you have any recommendations for movies for us to watch,
send us.
Tweet
like
us.
Do a
Tell us.
listen to me. I sound like old people Facebook right now. I
do a
Instagram. I was like, do an Instagram. Do a story. That's what I'm trying to say.
Send a story in.
Yes. Do an
We'd love to hear
Instagram
it.
story and send your stories in too. Yes, send your stories in. You know what? You know who's been sending her stories in? Stephanie Button.
I was going to say, was it Button?
Yes.
All I can remember was Button.
Stephanie Button has been sending her stories in, and I stopped. I started to read, and I stopped because
don't read.
Nope, I'm not going to.
We gotta be surprised.
I like the surprise element of it.
All right.
Send your stories, you guys. We want to hear them.
mysocallwhatever@gmail.com.
Yes. All right.
So that's it.
We'll be loving you forever.
All right.
Bye.
Hello. No one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hi, Brooke and Nikki. This is Christina from Wisconsin. Hopefully I won't get cut off, but I had a quick story to tell you. So pretty much everybody who knows me knows that I'm a big New Kids fan because I'm a proud blockhead. And I was riding with a friend recently, and she happened to tell me a New Kids story. So she lives in Chicago now, but she used to live in Boston. She told me she kind of grew up in Boston around where a lot of the new kids live, so she would kind of see them around the neighborhood, but she didn't know them personally. But she did tell me that a few years later, when she was an adult and she was pregnant with her daughter, she was on her way to her OB appointment at one of the Boston hospitals, and someone cut her off and she almost hit them, and it ended up being Jordan Knight. And so she told me that she basically almost killed Jordan Knight when she was trying to get to her OB appointment. So I thought that was kind of a funny story, and that she shared it with me because I was a big New Kids fan. Anyway, looking forward to hanging out with you guys on Zoom and lots more podcast episodes. Bye.
End of messages.
File's done.